Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Judith Akonsky, who is here on behalf of the Wine Lovers Club of Laguna Woods, and we have Jeff Champion, who is here on behalf of Ray's Place Fine Wine. Well, welcome both of you, and I'm so happy we were able to have you in person.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Well, we have a lovely spread here for all of you, and before we get into all of this deliciousness, Judith, let's talk to you about what is the Wine Lovers Club.
The Wine Lovers Club is a place where people come together, they break some bread, they share a glass of wine. Some of the people don't even drink and they share a Pepsi, or we have a few guys that are staunch Scotch drinkers.
Right.
And we have wine education. We learn about food pairings and the wines that go well with the foods. Mm-hmm. And I think people just love it because it's a time where they can kind of get to know their neighbors and meet new friends.
Right.
I think that's the success of our club.
Well, and you mentioned you started out with 35 members. Now you're up to what, like around 200?
We're about shy, maybe 5 of 300.
Holy smokes, that's amazing. Well, that's great. I mean, you obviously put together events and things, which we'll talk about in just a bit. And Jeff, tell me a little bit about yourself and Ray's Place.
Sure. So we're just over 2 years old. We are a concierge wine business. We do delivery. And Judy and I met, just a little bit before the lockdown. And so we came on board right as that happened, and we started doing virtual tastings with them and stuff like that. So we kind of cut our teeth with Laguna Woods like during that time. But you know, beyond that, like I said, we offer delivery. I'm a wine educator, have been for about 20 years, and so we do events and we do gifts for clients and stuff like that. And I mean, pretty much the only thing we don't do is a retail shop.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Well, and obviously you have the connection with the Wine Lovers Club, so we can learn all about fabulous wines.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about some events that you had during the time that last few months. You guys had an Oktoberfest.
Yes, we've only met in person now 3 times. About a week and a half ago, we had our 2nd annual Oktoberfest. We use it as our kickoff for our membership. We had authentic German wines, German food, German music. And I really want to give a shout out to thank a gentleman by the name of Scott Cibola. Turns out he's a Laguna Wood resident, and he owns an establishment called Game Craft.
Oh.
And he and his wife heard about the wine club, and they very generously donated all the beer for the Oktoberfest.
Oh, wasn't that great?
Yeah.
So it was a real fun event, and plus, at the end, we all went out to the patio and danced to the music of the Nomads.
Oh, I love it. Isn't that fun? Oktoberfest is always such a good time. Then you guys also took a trip out to Temecula.
That was our very first thing we did. About 55 of us jumped on a bus and went to various wineries in Temecula. We probably had a little bit too much fun.
Well, that's what happens. They just keep pouring you those little wine samples, and by the end, you don't know how many you've had, right?
But I think a fun club is a busy club.
Exactly.
So we've done a lot in the 3 months that we're back to being a club.
That is awesome. And, going out to Temecula, do you guys get a shuttle bus, or how does that work?
We go ahead and order a regular bus.
Okay.
And it's the same gentleman that we've used when we were open up before to take us to the port for when we had our cruise.
Love it.
So it's very comfortable, huge bus, has a restroom, and
No, that's a good thing, because after all that wine, you might have to be visiting that restroom on the way back. That's great. Well, excellent. So let's talk about some of your upcoming things, and then we'll get to our tasting. So you've got a holiday tasting come up in which you're going to be giving a presentation. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll be working with another group to do it. Usually I do the presentations by myself. I deliver out all the wine to everybody beforehand, and then we all kind of, like you said, we all congregate, and I do the presentations. This year we have a director from the Orange County Wine Society coming in. Yeah, so she and I have worked really well together to pair up wines that are from wineries that have submitted to the Orange County Fair in 2021. So we're going to showcase some of those wines. They're going to do the presentation, and for a change, I get to hobnob.
Ooh, nice.
I get to hang out and have fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Tell me about what's going to happen other than what he just mentioned.
Okay, well, we're going to meet November 30th at Clubhouse 2 at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And as Jeff says, we're going to welcome Carolyn Christian. She's the Director of Education for the Orange County Wine Society. And she will be presenting wines for Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's.
Okay.
And the club will be providing holiday foods to pair with those wines.
Okay.
And then my sidekick, Kathy Gaskins, she's going to do a huge raffle
Nice.
of wine type of gifts to get us in the spirit of gift giving.
Oh,
so I
that's
think it'll
great.
be a real fun event.
It sounds great. Now let's just remind people that is going to be happening November 30th, right? Because you guys
Yes.
go dark in December.
Right.
Okay, well, there's a lot of holidays, you know, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to keep up. That's
Right.
awesome. Okay, good. And then, real quick, let's touch on next year. So you guys are already preparing for a giant cruise.
Yes,
love
we
it.
are. We're, like I say, we try to stay busy. We think our members like that. And so we will be going on the brand new Discovery Princess on
Oh.
October 1st.
Wow.
And we're going to take a 7-day coastal cruise.
Nice.
As I kind of discussed with different members, everybody expressed the opinion that for their very first cruise experience since the pandemic, they felt comfortable being on a cruise that was primarily in the United States.
Oh, that's a good idea. How many people?
Well, we just started advertising last week. I think by now we have maybe 8-10 couples so far.
Okay, what's the maximum?
I think we could go up to 30-40 cabins if we wanted
Oh,
to.
you can. Oh, that's
Yeah,
great. And
yeah.
that looks like a nice ship. I haven't heard about that one. So
It's
that looks
brand
great.
new.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes out next year.
Okay.
And then, as you said, we'll be dark in December. And then we move to our new home in January.
Oh.
We've pretty much grown out of Clubhouse 2, so we're finally getting Clubhouse 5.
Oh, good for you. That's great. Well, excellent news. All right, let's talk about what we have here. Obviously, a couple of wines, and I'm going to let you take it away.
Sure. So, you know, with the holidays coming up, we obviously wine kind of takes focus, right? And, you know, everybody seems to have their own favorites. You know, we get a lot of Cabernet, a lot of Chardonnay, a lot of Pinot Noir, just these kind of real common varietals. And, you know, what I like to do as part of being an educator is obviously, you know, trying to open up people's eyes to some other things.
Okay.
So we have a couple of wines to look at today with a little bit of cured meat and some cheese. But we've got a couple of wines that you may or may not really be familiar with. So our white wine today is a Riesling.
Okay.
It is actually a Riesling from California. It finishes really dry. It does have a little bit of sweetness to it because that's pretty typical for the grape.
Right.
But you know, really the sense of a great Riesling is its ability to finish dry.
Oh.
And when that happens, it makes it really, really food friendly.
Okay.
So this is a single vineyard Riesling from Monterey. And as you try it, you will see there's just a little bit of sweetness on the front of it, but it doesn't stay there. And that makes it really, really good for this brie, for instance. It's a fantastic pairing with brie, but it also should move over and work really well with the prosciutto as well.
Okay, well, it smells very nice.
Yeah.
I like the smell. Now, you're right about the Riesling. I always thought maybe Riesling was like a dessert wine.
So, and a lot of times it can be, depending on the style of Riesling, when they get into off-dry, they get very sweet.
Okay.
This is considered a dry style, so this is a dry Riesling, excuse me. And the thing that's really cool about this wine, beyond what we're doing here today, this is a sneaky, sneaky, amazing white wine pairing for
Sneaky.
Thanksgiving.
I've never heard of a wine
See,
that's sneaky.
That's what I call it, and some of my friends in the industry call it. It's sneaky good because you're not expecting Riesling to pair so well with Thanksgiving dinner, but it does. It goes well with stuffing, with
That does
the
taste good.
sage and everything with stuffing.
Right.
It goes beautifully with turkey. It has some wonderful acidity that breaks through some of the heavier things like gravy and potatoes and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really, really great pairing for Thanksgiving, and not a lot of people realize that.
I love it.
Very good.
And you know, I would never think of having Riesling with the actual dinner itself. So I really do think this
Yeah.
is pleasant, very
Yeah.
pleasant. What do you think?
Good. It's very good. We had a Riesling, of course, with our Oktoberfest, and that was really good also.
Yeah, and one quick last thing about this. One of the things that I always try to do with my clients is the very first wine that we have or they have in an evening usually should be something that you can start with casually among friends. You know, as your guests are arriving, oftentimes it's a bubble of some sort,
Right.
like a sparkling, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a rosé, It can be something like this Riesling.
Okay.
Just a little bit of sweetness, and you carry it over with you right into dinner.
Oh, it's delicious. All right, I love it. And then
Very
what
good.
about the red? What do you have?
So this red is another really sneaky good
Another
holiday
sneaky one.
wine. Yes,
I know, I'm
absolutely.
beginning to think we should only be having sneaky wines.
Well, that's what my job. My job is to show you sneaky wines. Otherwise, there's no fun in it. Everybody just stays with their Pinots and their Cabs and stuff. This is Beaujolais.
Yeah.
But this is a very special Beaujolais. This is not Nouveau Beaujolais. That comes out, it usually comes out the third Thursday of every November. Cannot come out before then. It is part of the law of Nouveau Beaujolais. The thing with Nouveau is it gets made very quickly, and it oftentimes has this kind of bubblegummy sweetness to it.
Oh.
And a lot of people really like that. That's great. This is a very serious Beaujolais. This has a lot of minerality coming out of it. There's a tremendous amount of limestone in the soil that these vineyards come from. So you get this beautiful minerality. It's kind of bright and fresh. When you pair it with something a little bit more unctuous like the salami and the prosciutto, that acidity is going to work hand in hand, and it's going to keep your palate nice and fresh.
That is nice. You know, it's very light. I would expect something, because I mean, like you said, you start off with a lighter wine, and then you move into something a little heavier.
Yeah.
So at what point in the evening would you have this?
This would, okay, so honestly, we all have friends that don't drink white.
Right.
This is another great starter wine, and it will also move really well into food. This also goes really well with things like cranberries, with turkey, with gravy, because again, it's got that beautiful, that minerality and that acidity in the wine that really kind of helps cut through the richness of the food.
Right. What do you
Yeah.
think? Do you like?
It's good.
I think I am, between the two, I'm partial. I think I like the Riesling.
Yeah.
Just maybe because I'm more of a sweeter.
Sure,
I like it
yeah,
more
everybody's
sweet.
palate is different. I talk with my clients about this all the time. I am usually not prone to tell you what to taste in a wine or things like that,
Right.
really, because your palate is yours.
Right. Perfect.
This would be good also with appetizers where
Yeah.
it's salami, cheese.
100%.
Yeah.
Ham, your ham dinner, fantastic.
Well, I love it. Well, you guys are awesome. Let's bring up your slide. Anyone wants to know all about the Laguna Woods Wine Lovers Club, they can call the number. That is 949-837-2273, and they can learn all about wine.
That's right. And if I may,
Yes.
I just want to invite everyone to come to our new home, Clubhouse 5. It's going to be the second Wednesday of every month.
Okay.
We're going to keep the 6 o'clock time.
Okay.
So our very first wine meeting for January will be January 12th, 6 p.m., Clubhouse 5, and we will be welcoming Kirk Green from Total Wine.
Oh, great. That's perfect. Well, wonderful. Well, cheers. Thank you so much to both of you.
My
I
pleasure. Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me, both
Thank
of
you for
you.
the education, and good luck on all of your activities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And remember, if you want more information about the Laguna Woods Wine Lovers Club, you can call them at 837-2273. Cheers.